Hey, it's John Hope Bryant, entrepreneur, founder of about 40 different entities and organizations. You might know of Operation Hope, the largest nonprofit financial inclusion and financial literacy organization for the underserved in America, 26 states. You can download our Hope in Hand app and check out what we do. Go to one of our Hope Inside locations near you. All services are free. Or you might know the Promise Homes Company. That's less well known, but that's the largest minority-controlled owner of single-family rental homes in America by a person of color. I say all that so that you know that when I write a book like this, Up From Nothing, and I came from Compton, California, and South Central LA, and saw 2 murders before I was 9 years old. You know what I'm talking about. This book, Up From Nothing, is my passion. I've written 3 bestsellers, 5 books total. The last one was called The Memo, but this is one I want you to get. And I don't write books for a living. I'm an entrepreneur for a living, but I write books to try to change your life. As I'm trying to amplify what I think is a message that needs to be screamed from the rooftops. And I wanted to, in this example, to give you a business plan for changing your life. So let me hit it real quick. Put your comments below. I'll answer them. Share this video. Let this message go viral. Of course, buy a copy of Up From Nothing if you haven't already. Get it as a holiday gift. It's a very cool gift for holidays, birthdays, just for an investment in those that you love. So the 3 mentalities, and I cover them in detail. But in short, you have the surviving mentality, the thriving mentality, and the winning mentality. If I had to describe this as 3 birds, there are 3 types of birds, like 3 types of people. There are eagles. Actually, this is not a perfect analogy, but I want to tell the story anyway. There are eagles, there are buzzards, and there are turkeys. This almost works. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. Eagles don't fly in packs. You've never seen a flock of eagles. Eagles are often fly solo. They take the road less traveled. They don't mind being alone. They're alone, but they're not lonely. They're leaders. They're confident. They have a certain amount of self-esteem. Buzzards love packs. Buzzards are low-altitude birds. Buzzards are more about the group. They go with the flow. And they're not necessarily a bad bird, but a buzzard is more inclined to follow in the lead and to be manipulated by outside events. And if they're not feeling good about themselves, a buzzard will step on your head to elevate themselves. The worst kind of bird is a turkey, because a turkey's got wings and can't even fly. All they do is profile. Translation. Trying to be something you are not, or they are not you. Okay. So let's put that aside for a moment, because I love that story. I've been telling that story for a decade. It's not a direct correlation to the 3 mentalities. But the first one is, so you have winners, eagles. You have a winning mentality. You have a thriving mentality, and then you got a surviving mentality. Let me break this down. I'll do it in this order. So winners are builders, building relationships, building wealth, building a network of community centers, building back their community, building public policy, building an enterprise. Winners are builders. And a winner, listen now, a winner knew they were a winner before they ever won anything. You think LeBron knew he was a winner? Or Michael Jordan? You bet, if you're a sports fan. But just think about anybody in your life who you've identified as a winner. Do you think that they had that winning mentality, that they in their soul really believed that they were a winner, and that it outsized ambition and dreaming? And that's what made this country. And then you got the thriving mentality. Now this is the core of this country. This is the sustenance of this country. And this is why the buzzard analogy does not actually transfer over, because the thriving mentality was my mother. It's probably people in your family. It's the middle class. Thriving is really about a getting business, getting a standard of living, getting access to opportunity, getting membership in your favorite club, sorority, fraternity, getting a vacation, getting a promotion, getting I said standard of living. If you're a small business owner, different from an entrepreneur, you may want to get a better income or get cash flow. That's that thriving part of what makes America who she is, or any developed country around the world. If you're from Africa or Latin America or Asia, watching this video, or Middle East, building that middle class is the thriving. So the winning creates it, the thriving sustains it. The third group are survivors. And a survivor is an expert in what they are against, not what they are for. Ready, fire, aim. Survivors are going to have a really hard time becoming successful for a range of reasons. Like, I can't guarantee you that being positive will make you a success. But I absolutely guarantee you that if you're negative, that you will fail. In time, you will fail. Because no one wants to hang around you. No one wants to invest in you. You don't believe in yourself, or don't have a positive outlook on what you're doing. Who's going to invest in that? And when you've been enslaved for 300 years, like and dealt with Jim Crow like African Americans, or you were run off your own land like Native American Indians, or you were brought here as essentially servants with no education, no opportunity, like poor whites were from Britain in the 16th and 17th century. I had to think about that for a minute. You were never taught to be industrious. And ultimately, you resented the fact that the wealthy succeeded, and you were never given those tools. And I cover those three groups in my group in this book, Up for Nothing, and explain why they have not as a group. There are exceptions to that rule. I'm an exception to that rule. There are many people in the African American community that are exceptions to that rule. But as a group, we have not delivered a group of winners, and we've struggled to have a large group of thrivers because there's so much holding us back and so much systemically that has bedeviled us, and we haven't been given the tools. My last book, The Memo, we're never given the memo on free enterprise, financial literacy, economics, opportunity, ownership. But this is not just in my next video you'll love, and I'm going to go deeper dealing with the 5 pillars of success. But this is not just the barriers are not just racial that hold us back. I've always said that when white folks have a headache, black folks have pneumonia, but we're all sick. It's just twice as bad when you're African American because of all the systemic barriers. I'm going to deal with this book how you get over that, by the way. But when you got a survivor's mentality, you're angry. You don't respond to life, you react. And whenever you're making a decision emotionally, it's going to be the wrong decision. When you have a surviving mentality, you tend to look for somebody to blame for your problems, and blaming your neighbor doesn't build any wealth for you, or blaming the guy over here, the lady over here doesn't pay your mortgage or send your kid to college. You got to figure out what you're for in a world. You got to figure out what you're for. And unfortunately, you have a world if you're an expert in what you're against, you really got a world that's really hooked on what they're for. So you got to figure out how to switch that mentality, because actually you're creating an environment where it re-amplifies your negatives. And Ambassador Andrew Young has once said to me something brilliant: live in a system of free enterprise, and not to understand the rules of free enterprise. It must be the definition of slavery, which is why I try to teach financial literacy and how to help set you free economically. And that's 3 books ago, my book, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. This book is about your mindset. And you've got to move from a surviving mindset, not because you don't deserve to be angry, because it doesn't pay any dividends. There's no return on investment, right? And unfortunately, nobody cares that you're angry. And hurt people, and disease is a lot of disease. So if you stay angry, it ultimately is going to hurt you. That I think it was Dr. King has said that evil really ultimately destroys the container it sits within. So you don't want to be evil, you don't want to be angry, you don't want to be negative. It's toxic. You got to get that stuff out of your system. You got to heal, and you got to pivot to a positive mindset, at the very least, a thriving mindset. And what I really want for you is a winning mindset. This has been John Hope Bryant. Get the book. Go to Operation Hope. Change your life. As part of a series on Up From Nothing. Let me know what you think about this. And let me know which mindset you are and which one you're headed to. I've got a great story in this book about a winning mindset. I want you to tell me what that story is.